What's up, guys? So, on this particular video, we'll be discussing about Meghalaya in the month of January 2026. What you should be expecting in terms of the weather, the road condition, the places that you should be visiting. Overall, is it a good time to be going there? And everyone's favorite question about Meghalaya: will there be waterfalls, and which one will be active in the month of January 2026? So, now starting off with the weather, keep in mind that the month of January is when winter has set in properly into Meghalaya. So you can expect the daytime temperature to be anywhere between 15 to 18 degrees, while the temperature in the night will drop to as low as even 5 degrees, depending on where you are. It's places like Dauki, which will be warmer, but it will be places like Shillong, Cherrapunji, which will be extremely, extremely cold. So now, when you're planning a trip, make sure that you carry warm clothing for your trip to Meghalaya in the month of January. And warm clothing is maybe a couple of jackets, one light and one thick is good enough. Even your shoe pair needs to be, I would say, sturdy enough to do the treks and walking that is needed in Meghalaya. Now, remember that the daytime temperature is also cool, so you will need a sweatshirt for the first half of the day. It is during the afternoon times that you can survive without one. Shillong is arguably the coldest of the places along the tourist belt, while Cherrapunji also gets extremely cold in the night. It is in Cherrapunji when you're staying in homestays that you can find it really, really cold because these houses are made for the locals, which are cozy but at the same time cold. So just make sure that wherever you're going, you have a place which has thick enough blankets for you to stay the night, and the bathroom is attached to the room. Remember that having a shower in the night is not advisable because it gets extremely cold and the drop in temperature can lead to you falling sick. Avoid having a bath in the nights at all times in Meghalaya. It is advisable to wake up early, have a bath, and then start your day. Now, when it comes to the places that you should be visiting in Meghalaya, remember that starting the golden rule while traveling around Meghalaya in January is start your day early. If you can start your day as early as I would recommend 6:30 in the morning, this will give you a head start and you will avoid missing out on places. The reason I'm saying this is because Meghalaya is so far east that you'll have to add at least 1.5 hour to the time what you have on your clock. So if it is 6 o'clock in the morning, it's roughly around 7:30 is the approx time and the feel of the place. So it is advisable that you leave early in the morning so that you can spend ample of time at places and spots that you want along the journey. This will help you reach your destination without having missed out on any places. What happens if you start late? If you start at the regular time by 10:30, sunset in Meghalaya is around 4:30 in the afternoon, and by 4:30 it is by 4:30 quarter to 5 it's pitch dark. This would lead you to missing out on most of the important spots that you have to visit along the way. It's like imagine reaching a Dauki River after sunset. It's going to be of no use. You're going to see nothing over there, and just going to be a waste of the entire journey and your entire trip. Hence, leave in the morning. Target leaving by 6:30. So by latest by 7 o'clock, you are in the vehicle. By 7 o'clock, you are in the vehicle and you're moving. This will avoid any kind of drama that you have along the way. Now, the road condition is extremely good all over Meghalaya. There's just one patch which is bad. That is the road from Shillong to Mawlingnong Ravai to Dauki. That's an unpaved road. But if you want to bypass this, you can take the road via Shawai and reach Mawlingnong Ravai on the return after visiting Dauki. This way, you will bypass the bad road on two instances and just experience it only once. This is a more advisable way of getting to Meghalaya, the tourist spots of Dauki and Revai. Now remember that Mawlingnong is shut on Sundays, like most parts of Meghalaya. Being a Catholic state, a Christian state, most things are shut on Sunday. So by default, you will end up not getting the real experience of Mawlingnong. All the shops will be shut. All the eateries will be mostly be shut. So avoid going there on a Sunday. Likewise, when you're planning on the double decker route bridge trek, it is mandatory to have a guide now. And at the same time, Sundays is when the trek is not going to be open. So plan your trip for any other day other than a Sunday in the month of January. Remember, starting early for the double decker trek is a golden rule. Start as early as you can because it's going to get hot in the afternoon, and at the same time, the sun will set early. And if you're planning on going to Rainbow Falls, you definitely need to start as early as around, I would say, 6 o'clock in the morning from your homestay so you can begin your trek by latest 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, remember, the part of going to the double decker bridge trek is that you need to have a guide, and I would advise you to take a bamboo stick along because the stick will come very handy when you're climbing the 3,000 steps backwards. This is a reverse trek. The first part is very easy where you'll be going down into the valley. It is on the return where you've got to be climbing back up. That's where the challenge is. So to avoid that entire drama, carry a stick with you, which they will be selling over there for anywhere between 20 to 100 rupees, depending on the deal that you can crack, and then begin your trek. Avoid staying the night down in the valley because if your legs get sore in the evening, it's going to be a real challenge for you to climb up the next day. It's better to stay the night in a homestay in Cherrapunji and return back the same day to your homestay. Now, when it comes to the network, Meghalaya has excellent network all over the state. You'll get excellent 4G and 5G network of Airtel and Jio. Vodafone is a bit scrappy here and there, so avoid Vodafone. But if you have someone in your group who has Jio and Airtel, you're going to have a seamless experience all over the state. UPI and online payments are accepted all over Meghalaya. So wherever you're traveling, you wouldn't really need to worry. But it's always advisable before you're leaving home, carry at least, I would say, 5 to 10,000 rupees in cash so that in case you go to places where there is scrappy network, you do have cash to pay and you're not stranded wanting to buy something and are unable to because your online payment isn't working. Now, when it comes to taxis, taxis are easily available in Guwahati and in Meghalaya. The cost of taxi depends entirely on the number of days that you're planning your trip for and the number of people in your group. More the people, the cheaper the cost will be. For a couple, it's ideal to take an Alto, which will range from anywhere between 3 to 4,000 per day, depending on the number of days. If you're looking for SUV, you'll find Sumos, you'll find Ertigas, you'll find Innovas, you'll find Boleros, you name it, you'll find it in Shillong and in Guwahati. The deal for them will be anywhere between 4,500 to 6,000 rupees per day. This is depending on the quality of the vehicle, the number of days, and again the deal that you can crack. There is no union system, so you'll have to haggle and bargain. Now, when it comes to accommodation, homestays are the best way to experience Meghalaya, especially in the remote parts of Mawlingnong, Rivai, Cherrapunji. Homestays are the most ideal way to get around the place because you will get first-hand local experience. When it comes to food, do not worry. Veg food is easily available in all places, but you will not get a big variety. The most that you will get is a thali, which will have dal, rice, potato bhaji, and a local sabjis. Non-veg is in plenty. If you're a non-vegetarian, this is the state to be if you like experimenting with local food. Now, when it comes to the clothing, like I mentioned at the start of the video, you definitely need to have your winter wear. You need to have your sunglasses, your cold cream, and most of all, do not forget that you need to have a very good pair of shoes because wherever you're traveling, it is going to be a rocky and hilly terrain, and having a good pair of shoes is mandatory. Now, when it comes to the waterfalls in Meghalaya, which waterfalls will be active? I would personally suggest you to go to three waterfalls. One is Krang Suri waterfall, which will have water, but it is far away. Second, it is uh, Nokalika waterfalls, which will definitely have water, but you're going to just have a viewpoint. Krang Suri, you can get into the water. There's a small pond. Make sure that you carry a change of clothes. And the last one is Fifi Waterfalls, which also has water in the month of January. But again, Fifi Waterfalls needs you to trek a bit, and it's not everybody's cup of tea to trek down and climb up again. So these are the three waterfalls that I would personally recommend. The fourth one is the most crowded, which is Elephant Falls, which by default will have water. Now, when you're planning a trip to Meghalaya, a golden rule that I would suggest to everyone is plan for a minimum of 5 nights, 6 days. Anything shorter than that is going to be a extremely rush trip. And hire a vehicle which will take you throughout the journey. Do not self drive. It is not worth it because you will not enjoy the experience. When it comes to riding around Meghalaya, biking is possible in the month of January, but just make sure that you start early so that you do not ride your bike in the night because it's extremely dangerous. Now, till our next video for Meghalaya, stay safe, stay happy, and stay blessed. If you have any queries, leave a comment. If you want to book a trip, click on the link in the description and you'll get to our website.